I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, everybody. In the words of James Locke Jr., we're back, bitches! Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days, where we give you a full dish of this week's episodes of NBC's #1 hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. I'm your host, Tony Moore, and I am joined by my gaggle of gals. We have, somewhere on this screen, Michael Mattis.
Sorry, I'm having weird audio from somewhere. There it is.
Uh-oh.
Hi, Michael Mattis.
And of course we have,
Hey everyone, Chelsea Overrocker.
And of course, giving us all the summertime breeze vibes, we have...
Hi everyone, Tammy Gouveia.
We have missed you guys. I have missed all of my wonderful co-hosts. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's been a minute, but we are going to dive right in. If you are watching us live, thank you so much. If you haven't already, make sure you like us and follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days on Facebook and Instagram and _Dishin Days on the Twitter. The app is still in quarantine. Also, if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, make sure you like us and give us 5 stars and leave a comment because, hey, we want to hear that you like it and love it and want more of it. And of course, if you are a lover of soaps, there's still a recap going on of GH Reports. So make sure you tune into that right after our show. And of course, later on, we have coming up our very, very special guest to talk about that beautiful Eli and Lonnie wedding. We have Sal Stowers, Lamone Archie, James Reynolds, and Vanessa Williams joining us later on in the show. Are those all the church announcements? I haven't done this in so long, I feel like I covered it. That was it. Yeah. Well, how has Days of Our Lives been for y'all?
Oh my gosh.
Congratulations to the newlyweds.
Yes!
Cheers to the newlyweds.
Cheers to the newlyweds. Cheers. Clink, 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 clink. Y'all, so much has gone down in Salem since we haven't been recapping. Like, it's been nuts. Oh, also, big, huge shout out to Daytime Emmy Award winner Olivia Rose Keegan, who snatched the Outstanding Younger Actress Award last Friday. So congratulations to her. I did an interview with her on our Instagram Live, so go to Dishin Days and look at that interview. Also, shout out to the music department who won a Daytime Emmy as well for their wonderful, wonderful music that they contribute to the show. Congratulations.
They won the Emmy last year too. I remember seeing them.
Yeah. So it was last year. It was music, Emmy, music, casting, and younger actor because Kayla won. And then this year it's just music and younger actress. All right, so Days of Our Lives. Let's just give. What have you guys thought about it? Like since we have not been together.
I've really been enjoying they kind of pivoted storylines about a month or so ago when they brought Claire back and Allie came into the picture and they're ramping up to these 4 weddings that are going on.
Oh my God, yes.
It's really been engaging. And I have to say, I kind of got very, not disenchanted, but a little like when it was so focused on like Orpheus and when that just didn't resonate with me. And I was kind of glad when that all wrapped up. So, but what's going on now, I think they have like, and Brian Dotillo came back and now Louis Sorel is back. And I think right now they have a solid story, solid cast. Everything is good.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree. I'm really liking Allie and Will and Sonny and that storyline, and Eric and Nicole and Allie together too. I've been loving those scenes. I feel like Nicole is almost the second mom to Allie, just giving her advice. And I've been loving the conversations them two have been having. And of course, Eli and Lani making history in days. That was just that was just so cool. It was such a great week for that. And then I'm glad that we're starting to get more with Jake and Gabby. And of course, my sin is awesome as always.
Yeah. Tammy, what are your thoughts?
I'm loving Allie, and I'm loving when her Sammy-isms come through. and loving the dynamics. Like, really want to know, like, where is this baby going to end up? Because
and who's the daddy? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, because we know Galen has left the show. We know that, you know, Will and Son, these aren't options unless one of them is going to get the baby and the baby's just going to disappear.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to see what the deal is with that. I love the brief reunion between Kristen and Brady this week. Loved it so much. But this week I loved.
Yeah.
Last week, but this week was really great.
I really enjoy a lot of the storylines that are happening and a lot of the people that they brought in. I am absolutely obsessed with Gwen. I don't know what it is about her character, but
she's
I'm
awesome.
super obsessed.
Amazing.
And
her to death.
Accent, darling.
The accent. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. And I know that like everybody wants like Jake to be Stefan, but I really like the way Brandon is playing Jake. Like I for some reason am loving it. And you know, just the addition of Ali and like, you know, and Claire and all that, like Days has been pretty good. They're upping their game as always. So let's really dig into it and dive deep. It's now time to start
Dishin
Days.
All right, so let's start off with the historical event of daytime history, the first Black wedding on Days of Our Lives, Eli and Lonnie Wedding. First of all, I want to say, I want to mention that in the chat room, not in the chat room, but like in some of the other groups, there was this whole big thing of like, you know, why do we have to say it's the first Black wedding? You know, they're just people. I don't see color, and it's very important.
It's bigger than that.
To recognize that like Lonnie and Eli are the first Black on-screen couple to get married on Days of Our Lives, and that's a moment in history that needs to be, you know, celebrated. And everyone, including me, thought, oh no, Abe and Lexi happened off camera. So after over 50 years of this show, we finally get this first, you know, Black couple in Salem and their wedding. So it's very important.
It was something that I, you know, like a lot of us never really thought about because when I started watching, same time you started watching, Tony, Abe and Lexi were already solid. And so it was assumed that like they had a wedding, but I guess they didn't. And to think that like as progressive as Days of Our Lives has gotten like within the past 10 years with Will having a prominent core character, like come out of the closet, they had a gay wedding. And it was just like, really? They haven't had like a Black wedding yet? So
it was very
just so surprising
shocking.
that as progressive as the show's gotten, that was a step they hadn't taken yet. And it's good that they are now. It's very, I know they weren't planning it, but it was a good time to have it with all the stuff that's going on IRL, I'll say, in real life. And it was just, I think it was executed in a way like it was a typical soap wedding where they had the interruptions, but it was still a beautiful wedding, and I was engaged with it from start to finish.
Let's talk about the wedding. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
I want to say really quick, you know, that saying that people say is like, well, I don't see color. It shouldn't be about color and race. You know, at the end of the day, everyone comes from a culture. We come from a particular culture. And this is an African-American woman and an African-American man being married for the first time in the 54 years of Days of Our Lives. And that needs to be celebrated.
Yeah.
Yes,
Agreed.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So let's talk about this wedding because I feel like there are going to be some interesting opinions. It definitely didn't go as smoothly as possible. There were lots of twists and turns. I want to start off by saying I was a little disappointed because I wanted Eli and Lani to just have a beautiful moment, seeing as how this was the first Black on-screen wedding. Like, I wanted it to be just as beautiful as the Will and Sonny wedding, where like the only thing we were worried about was when Carolyn Brady stood up and she started telling her story and we didn't know where it was going because she had dementia and we were like, oh gosh, she's gonna forget what she's saying. But I just wanted like a very beautiful moment for them. And with all the interruptions, I like when Gabby came in and interrupted, and then when Vivian came in and interrupted, oh, I'm sorry, it started with Lonnie's mom having low sugar and like passing out. I was literally like, can we not just have nice things? Can we just have a wedding that just goes smoothly and then the shenanigans come in? Like, I just wanted them to have a beautiful moment, and I wanted more people there. Like I was like,
that was my comment too. Like it should have been like, I'm always a fan, and it's not about religion. It's not about like it has to be before God. It's just because when I think of a wedding, and I didn't get married in a church, so I don't know. When I see a wedding, I want it to be big. I want it to be grand, and in a church setting, like with the windows and everything, like that would have really brought it home. But it was beautiful in its own right, and I could have done without Lonnie's mom fainting or having her sugars or whatever. And without Gabby's interruption. I thought those two were kind of unnecessary, but the Vivian interruption, I thought, you know, we all love Vivian and we're glad to have the real Vivian back.
Yes.
So and that she had like a point. That is something Vivian would do. She wants to avenge Stefan's death, so she interrupts Lonnie's wedding to try to pop her. That made sense to me. The whole Gabby interruption, I feel like that was just for the sake of having another interruption. And then the having Lonnie's mom like pass out and have to leave, but then she comes back in later. I think that was something behind the scenes. Like they were like a shooting schedule was off or something. But all in all, I enjoyed it. Like I said before.
Yeah. What about you guys?
I get where they wanted to keep it a small wedding given everything that's going on between Eli and Lani. I get it. But yeah, I kind of, just because this is the first Black wedding, I just want just a little bit more. But Michael, I agree right with you. I think we could have done without the Gabby interruption. We've had so many scenes of that already. It's like really, again, especially on their wedding day. The Vivian one was interesting. I didn't want it so much during the wedding, but I did think it was an interesting interaction that's going to lead into a different storyline. But yeah, it was kind of, at the end though, I'm so glad Lonnie's mom was there, because like if they go through it, Lonnie's mom is not there, I'm going to be so disappointed. So I'm glad that she ended up coming back at the end. But overall, beautiful moment, and what sold me was those vows. Oh gosh, I was crying. Lani, Eli, you guys got me on that one. So that made the wedding. And then of course Lani looking like a goddess.
She was
so beautiful.
Lamone looked good too. I was like, okay, I see you with your suit on and stuff.
Honestly,
because of Rafe's ironing skills.
It was hard to watch the wedding because they were so beautiful. Like it was like blinding. It's like, oh my God, you were so beautiful, you guys. So yeah.
Is it weird that I would have done the wedding differently? Like,
no, you always want to do things differently, Tony.
I know. Well, no, and I'm the same way. I watch it and I think I watched the entire show and I'm like, oh well, I would have done it this way.
Yeah,
I feel you.
I do like that they added traditional African American traditions.
Yes.
With like the jumping up the jumping of the broom and the sweep, because they definitely need to sweep away some of them that were like and shenanigans that were going on. So I like that. I feel like I don't want people to think like I'm completely hating on the wedding. I just feel like in order for some things to make sense, I would have done things just a little bit different. Like I love Dr. Marlena Evans. However, I would have had either Abe or Valerie be the officiant.
I agree 100%.
Because I think that but it was only the moment when Marlena started reading about the jumping of the broom that it suddenly felt uncomfortable a little bit because only because I feel like maybe she understands like where it comes from, but like there's not like an understanding of like where it comes from. And I feel like if Abe or Valerie were in that and reading that, it would have came across a little more
an authentic space,
and stronger feeling. So yeah, I was just kind of like, and then a lot of people have said like, other guests and stuff. Like instead of Rafe not being there, I wouldn't have mind Rafe had been there and Hope and and a couple of other Salemites to really make sense of the wedding. Like yes, small, but like some familiar faces that were like, oh, okay, yes, we're glad those people are there. But it was literally like just immediate family and like no friends. And the only way that Bill slid through was because shocker, he's dating Valerie. And I'm like, okay. It's so funny. I was making, when Valerie was saying that they were together, I was making the same face that Eli was making at the same time. I was both like, okay.
What's going on here?
I mean, if you had to pull them in, okay, sure, I guess. So,
I like.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was done. Go ahead.
Oh, I like that they had like sometimes with weddings lately on the show, it's like you have like a sequence of episodes. Episode 1 is like the day before the wedding, and then episode 2 is like everybody's there, everything is set. There's no like morning buildup with like, I'm used to it being like a process where like you see like the bride and groom getting dressed and the the moms and the family kind of prepping them for the wedding. I feel like that's been missing from a lot of weddings on days in recent past. But with this wedding, we had all that build up, and I thought it added to the kind of momentum building up, and it added to the whole emotion of the wedding. Seeing, Lani getting prepped by Valerie. And then, did I say that right? Lani getting prepped by Valerie and Eli getting prepped by his buddy Rafe. And I thought it was just a good, we saw from beginning to end,
Yeah. And I loved Kristen coming in.
And Kristen.
That was a beautiful moment between Lani and Kristen because I think we all enjoyed their friendship. And so I'm glad they didn't dismiss that. Sorry, Tammy, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking, remember when John and Marlena finally got married and we were all at the point of, please let nothing interrupt this. Can we just have the wedding? Can we just see it be a seamless, lovely ceremony where nothing, and this is how I felt with Lani and Eli. It's like with everything they've been through, with the first attempted wedding being such a nightmare, I just want something seamless. So Gabby's interruptions, mom's low blood sugar, Vivian, to me, all were unnecessary, completely unnecessary.
Agreed. Like I would have rather just had a beautiful ceremony and then like all the reception could have been during the reception.
Yeah, great.
Then the shenanigans happen, and it's like it doesn't take away from the beautiful moment, because even when they got to their vows, I felt like I was just so out of the moment that I couldn't enjoy like this moment that they're having. Like I was in it, but it was so like short that I couldn't be in it. Does that make sense?
And just like, this was a weird perspective, but I was always thinking, Lani's pregnant. Like, why are we having her in these super stressful, Vivian's got a gun on them? Like, why is this happening? She's pregnant. Is that not reason enough to just have more of a mellow, happy, joyful moment? So that kind of upset me a little bit.
Yeah, someone in the chat room, Ariette said, I disagree about the officiant. I thought Marlena was perfect for them considering her history with Abe and Tamara, but I get Tony's POV about jumping the broom. Listen, I was for it until that part happened, and I was like, maybe someone else should have done this, maybe. I don't know. So that's just how I see it. But overall, like, it led to a beautiful, beautiful post-wedding where their apartment was gorgeous. I love the cascading lights and like, you know, that the sparkling cider for her, the beer for him. I also, going back to before the wedding even started, the interaction between Julie and Abe had me giggling because you could see Julie being Julie and Abe was kind of side-eyeing her like, okay, girl, like,
not taking this.
yeah, and the more she, like, he was like, I'm willing to help. Yeah, I need you to do this, and he kind of looked at her like,
girl, do it yourself.
Like, I'm not the help. I'm the father of the bride.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, I'll sit here and fold these napkins for you without you over my shoulder, but I'm not about to be, you know, over here doing 10 billion things in this suit.
Yes.
Every time she brought Gabby's name up, I just wanted to pull her hair.
Oh, yeah.
Cringe-worthy moment, like several times.
Well, they tried to make the gag work of like, say her name 3 times and she shows up. Now listen, honey, when she showed up in the jumpsuit, I said, okay, if you're gonna crash a wedding, at least look good.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, Gabby.
She's going ice skating.
That.
Yeah, I mean, she looked like she was like friends with Elsa and she was in the ice castle. And then she said, hold on one second, let me go down here to Salem. And like, you know, it's like, you got anything to wear, girl? Girl, all I got is this like, you know, icicle jumpsuit sold. And then like, she went and like, you know, did it. So, but yeah, but you know, overall, you know, congratulations to them. It was a great moment. I think we all just wanted a solid, beautiful moment for them. And I think we all were just kind of like, oh, all these interruptions, y'all couldn't just like wait for a reception or something while they were doing the electric slide. Then everybody come in and like, because listen, that's classic Black wedding like music, the electric slide. Like if they had did a scene at a reception, they were all doing the electric slide and that's when the interruptions happened, like I would have been sold.
Yeah. Turn on.
I'm just saying.
I felt like though on Friday's episode though, I was able to relax. Like, okay, now I can enjoy my Eli and Lani storyline, and with the fireworks happening, I was like, yes.
Which, by the way, their fireworks timed out with my fireworks. So while I was watching it, you know, they were seeing fireworks, and so was I.
Yes.
Welcome,
it was like a war zone.
Los Angeles. Yeah.
I know. I felt like there were more fireworks this year when there were no like official. There were no official fireworks displays, but I heard fireworks all night last night.
Yeah, for sure. All right, and that's it with the wedding, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we're gonna get the other side of how the wedding came about and all the ins and out of it when we are joined by our special guests, Sal, Lamone, James, and Vanessa, who will be coming on in less than 30 minutes. So we're gonna zip through a whole bunch of stuff. We love talking about days, don't we? So let's get to Gabby, Stefan, Gwen, Vivian, Rafe, Chad, and Ben. So Gabby got cleared of all of her charges, which I was thankful for because I'm like, please let's not do Gabby like that. Like, let's not.
Gabby in jail again? No.
Again. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I
like she's like Gabby is Gabby and she's not always making the best decisions, but we've done the Gabby in jail thing like what 3 times over.
Yeah.
And she actually didn't do this, right? Where we know she didn't.
No, yeah.
Or do we not know? I kind of, it's been a while, like we know she didn't do that. So again, it would be just like repeating storyline and just being like, okay, Gabby's in jail again. Yeah. So yeah, I was glad that was kind of over and done with.
Agreed. I'm not, well, the whole tension between her and Chad, like every time he shows up, I'm like, oh Lord, here we go with their cattiness. And they're so catty to each other. Yeah. You know, it's like, here's your last breakfast. I hope you enjoy it because you're going to jail. And it's like, I'm not going to jail. You just wait and see. And then it's like, ha ha. Yeah. Then it's like, ha ha. Guess who like broke free? Like, guess who's not going to jail? And it's like, oh, don't worry. You're going to get what you deserve. And I'm just like, oh Lord, like, okay, y'all. Like, let's let that play out. But then we get also the results of Jake, Stefan, and the results say that he is Stefan, but he has no memory or recollection of being Stefan.
So do you think those are real DNA results? Or do you think...
I always question the first round whenever DNA results come in. I've just been trained not to believe it, that some Sammy-like demon went into the computer and, you know, those things are always messed with. And so I always take, as I take deaths on the show now, I take them with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
So
who wants it to be Stefan? Raise your hand.
I want it to be Stefan, but I want him to keep his Jakeisms.
What did he say?
I want Gabby and Stefan back together again.
Yes.
But I love Jake, so I want him to have more of that.
You want him to be Jake and Steph.
Yeah.
What did he say to Vivian and Gabby when he stormed out of the... I meant to rewind it and see what he said, but he said something like Gabby and Vivian were going at it when they were in the interrogation room. And he's like, I've had enough of you biddies or whatever. And
you loony something or others.
Yeah.
And I loved it when
called her a Looney Tune at once.
When Vivian said, take my hand and you'll feel my blood coursing through your veins. He's like, I'm out of here.
And then Gabby comes in and goes, that's all you're gonna do? Like, you are the mother. He's just gonna be like, oh, I don't remember. And then you're just gonna walk out? I was just like, y'all are really trying to get this man to remember this in like round one.
Yeah. And then he's like, it's like watching a car wreck. You just can't look away.
Can't look away.
Jake is so confused. He is so over it. Like, he is like, anytime people go, Stefan, he's like,
yeah.
He's like, here we go again.
But is it like, okay, y'all, we have to give Brandon Barrage like so many props. This is brilliant. Think about when he played Stefan and how like we were gunning for Stefan and Gabby, right? Same actor playing someone different and has zero chemistry with Gabby, but has so much chemistry with Gwen. Like it's like, it's such a testament to like how brilliant he is. So like, bravo, Brandon, like you are like slaying the game right now.
I forgot how different Stefan, obviously I realized that Brandon was playing Jake very differently than he played Stefan, but I forgot how much until Gabby had that dream that Stefan was back. And yeah, it was like, he looks the same, but his mannerisms were different. His voice was different. Everything. There's such a contrast between the two characters. So yes, I second the kudos or the props for Brandon.
Yeah.
Brandon.
A lot of, I see some mixed reviews. A lot of people think that it's Jake. A lot of people want to keep Jake. I see a theory of that it might be twins.
Because Vivian kind of recounted what happened, and she was told that Stefan died in childbirth. So if she was convinced that Stefan died in childbirth, it could be it could be believable that she had twins that she didn't know about. Like,
that would be fun for Brandon to play.
Yeah, that would be great stuff.
Yeah. And then what else? And then of course, you know, Jake being so confused as to like what's happening that he's just like, let's get it on Gwen, which for some reason I understood in that moment what he was thinking. It was like, everyone keeps telling me that I'm this person. There's now proof that I'm this person. Like, I need something to hold on to that makes me feel like I'm me just for a second. And there was Gwen.
Here's what I know, you and me. That's what I know. Yeah.
They reminded me of a Sammy EJ, like that whole, I hate you, let's have sex kind of a way.
Yes.
Stephen Dash in the chat room says, whose heart is in Julie?
Well, yeah, then there's that factor.
That's what we want to know.
Right.
Like, what heart did Julie get?
Yeah.
What had happened?
What had happened was, I don't know. But you know, I kudos to them bringing Louise Sorel back as Vivian. Is it me?
And I think bringing in Emma, like we were talking about Gwen and how we're kind of, we like Gwen. She's a different, you know, she was kind of brought into these existing storylines as a new character, and she's so like engaging, and so kudos to them for bringing. I think her name's Emily O'Brien.
Yes,
the actress, because she's really great too.
She's a breath of fresh air. Like she's someone that's like not connected to anyone in Salem except Jake. And it's just nice to kind of have someone else have a POV of like what's happening. So I like that.
You know,
go ahead.
Just really, Marlon Wallace says they would have to exhume Stefan's grave in order to be sure.
I mean, listen,
that's the doable. They could do that.
That makes.
They've exhumed bodies. Remember, they exhumed Peter Blake's body so that Kristen could cremate him, so that they couldn't get any DNA from it or something. Oh, because it wasn't Peter. Yeah.
It was either Tony or Michael, or maybe it was you, or maybe it was the three of you said, and in the chat they're saying maybe it's Dr. Shaw's heart. Because Tony, didn't you say he went in the hospital the same day that surgery was going on?
No, I'm still in shock of the switch of the Dr. Shaw's. So I like everything else is a blur for me. Like I'm still scratching my head like that's not Dr. Shaw, that's someone else. So I don't know. That's a good theory to have. So I don't know. Did anyone else notice, real quick before we move on, Vivian's hair looked good.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Really like I don't know why I noticed that, but when she came like out from the kitchen, I was like, yes, hair. Okay, like
they have put in the past. They have put some bad wigs on Louise Sorel. They have put some not so great hairs on her, and it looked good.
Who was the actress that came in before Vivian?
Robin Strasser. We're not supposed to talk about her.
Well, I know, but talk about like the really bad hair and bad wigs. So when Vivian comes on, it's like, oh my God, you look so amazing.
Just bad everything from Robin Strasser. Anyway, so that's pretty much it with that storyline, right? We'll see how that unfolds. Then we have Ben, Sierra, Claire, and Gwen. Sin, Claire, and Gwen.
Was she Looney Tunes?
Yeah, she's not back. Something's up with Claire. She's trying too hard.
Yeah. I'm torn about whether Claire is actually legit or whether she's not. I haven't decided whether I'm sold she is or isn't. I think it's almost too easy to think that she isn't, and like she did the nail polish on the dress. I think it's right now for me, I'm like, oh, that's too easy to point the finger at her.
Like every time, like when that happened, first of all, I was kind of laughing because nail polish got all over the dress.
Yes.
No, I didn't do it. Yeah. But the best was Gwen's face when Sierra and Ben came over to confront Claire. Because Ben is over it. Ben is like, girl, I don't even understand why she's your maid of honor. Like, all she's going to do is just ruin it. But if you don't want to believe it, whatever. And then Gwen is just like, what is happening with these people? And it's like, and then when he went in, it was like, all right, mate, like, you're not going to. I was like, okay, friend, you better go and like be protective of Claire. And even when Gwen was like, all right, girl, it's just us. Did you mess up her dress? And in true Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs form, Claire goes, no. And I'm like,
and Gwen's all,
yeah, it's like Gwen's kind of like, you crazy bitch, you did.
That was an awesome moment.
So I feel like it's just going to be this whole push and pull of like, you know, what's really going on. But what I'm hoping is that, because there was a moment where I was like, ooh, Sin has been great since. And now that Claire is back in the picture, I hope they don't start clashing.
Conflict.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, they do need a little bit of conflict because a happy couple gets old. Like Jack and Jennifer, they've been solid, and now where are they at? They're on when they need it. They're on when someone needs a babysitter.
They trying to figure out how they're gonna get Steve and Kayla back together.
Yes.
oh, right. Who weren't even they weren't on this week. I just realized that. Anywho, no, I kind of like that they're bringing some conflict for Ben and Sierra.
Yeah.
Not that I want them to break up, not that I'm not a sin shipper, not that I don't come at me or anything. I'm just glad that they have something else to do rather than just be happy and have sex in their hotel room all day.
So this is kind of cool. Me World says, I adore Gwen. Keep her in Salem. She and Gabby would make a great Vivian versus Kate for this generation.
Ooh.
Okay.
That would be
I'd be
good.
down for that.
I totally see
Yeah.
that.
I definitely think that Gwen has potential for longevity if they write her correct. If they give her, give her the proper material.
Yeah, I agree.
When she was all up in Ben's face and like, oh, are you going to strangle me?
Yes. She's like, and then Ben just, she's like, that does it.
Did she smack Gabby or did Gabby smack her? How did that tussle start?
Oh, the fight that they had.
Yeah. That was
good.
That was at the garage.
I think Gabby smacked Gwen.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
And then they went at it. But it was funny because Jake wanted to go in and stop it, but then he was just kind of like, two chicks fighting. Like okay.
Yeah.
I can dig this.
A couple of girls fighting over me. Yeah.
Typical man. Is there anything else with that, with the Sin Claire Gwen storyline? That's pretty much it, right? I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I just like Claire's enthusiasm of making things right between with Ben and Sierra. But we're looking at her like, girl, you have been obsessed since you saw that they were getting married. Like, what's the tea?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, what are you really trying to do? Now, that's the wedding that I'm just like, there has to be some show.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's not going to be a seamless.
No. Unfortunately not. No.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we continue on, we've got a little business, a little announcement brought to you by the fine folks over at AfterBuzz TV. Chelsea Overrocker, take it away.
Hello. We just want to say thank you for making AfterBuzz TV the ESPN of TV talk. In order to help us grow, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us a rating on the Apple Podcast, and give us 5 stars and a comment. Again, we just want to thank Kevin and Maria for creating AfterBuzz TV so we can engage with you guys about days of our lives and do what we love.
This announcement brought to you by the kind folks here at AfterBuzz TV. All right, everyone, it's now time for some tidbits. All right, so we have Ali, Eric, Will, Sonny, Rafe, and the baby. I love that everyone is very supportive of Ali. First of all, I love, I believe her name is Lindsay Arnold, who plays Ali. Someone who like literally came right in and is just like doing
with everybody, like with all of these like heavy hitters, and just can hold her own. Great.
Yeah.
Kudos to Marnie.
Question. Since it looks like there are 3 potential people on the table for Ali's baby. We have Rafe, Will, and Sonny, and then I know Xander is going to pop up because he had the idea of getting the baby as well.
Do you think like that? I feel like that got squashed. I feel like he kind of, after the conversation with Sarah about it, I feel like he's going to bow out or has kind of bowed out. We really didn't see anything after that, but
I'm going to keep them on the table for now, even though we didn't see them this week. I'm going to keep them on the table for now. If you guys could decide who the baby goes to, if you were like Ali's friend and was like, girl, give the baby.
Or should she keep it?
Let's consider not her keeping it off the table, I guess.
Okay.
Or let's. Would you tell her to keep it or give it up for adoption? And if she does give it up for adoption, who do you think it should go to?
Will and Sonny.
Oh, you're asking us?
Yeah, I'm asking you guys.
Oh.
Yeah.
Will and Sonny.
Yeah, Will and Sonny, 100%.
Why do we all think that?
See, but here's, because I think
gays
Will
are
and Sonny
better
too. Well, here's my thought of it, is that like, it will allow, first of all, the baby to remain in the family. it will allow the story of like she was young and still wanted to accomplish things. Things just kind of happened, and she was still around, but yet we solely like were responsible for you. And I just think that because we see how they are with Ari, and the arrangement they have with Gabby, which was a good point that they had, that they're like the best candidate for it. I agree with Rafe when he was like, I'm still getting over the hurt of losing David. I can't imagine taking on another baby. And I was like, touche, good point. That leaves you out of the running. Will and Sonny, please.
The chat room seems to think that Nicole and Eric are going to end up being the baby's parents.
I see godparents, but not parents.
The chat room seems to think, at least quite a few in the chat room seem to think that Nicole and Eric are going to be, which would kind of be a surprise, but you know, they are kind of in that situation. And even though they're, you know, being supportive, maybe something happens where all of these, Will and Sonny, something happens to them where they decide, oh, they can't do it. Rafe decides, you know, he can't do it. And then she's left like still wanting to give the baby up and not being able to, or not having like someone close. Maybe Eric and Nicole could potentially say like, that keeps the baby in the family, that keeps the baby close. But then we also have, and so.
Isn't that kind of weird to have the baby so close? Like if she's gonna be like, because if I was growing up as the baby who got adopted out to, I guess, Uncle Will.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you just keep me? You've got this whole family to help you. Why did you have to adopt me out at all?
But that's just like kids whose mothers gave them to their grandmothers. And the grandmother raised them while the mom, because the mom was too young and things like that. It's kind of the same scenario. You know, it's sometimes it's circumstances, like, you know, sometimes, you know, you're just not ready. And when you bring a life into the world, you want to ensure that they are going to have everything that they need, you know, to live an amazing life. And if I can't provide that right now, I'd rather someone will, you know? So listen at me like I know about babies.
Me World says Will and Grace should just adopt another baby.
Will and Grace.
Oh my gosh. I
I
cannot.
love that.
All right, so that's pretty much that with that storyline.
Then there's just the factor of the real, if it wasn't brought up, who the real father is. I'm sure that the real father of the baby will come into the picture at some point. It'll be interesting to see who it is.
He's too young. Like, I don't,
Is this, I think people want to know, is the father of the baby someone we know, or is this going to be someone that's another new character?
I think it should be someone we already know. I think it should be an existing. I think we're good with new characters for now. At least I am.
Yeah. It's Paul.
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Let's see when the baby's born. Let's see what we get. You know,
right? That's going to be interesting. I have no idea who the baby could possibly be. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chelsea.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't know if it was an existing character who would be the father. So I'm kind of leaning more towards maybe a new character that they could bring in.
Yeah, agree.
I don't know who it could be.
Oh, I guess we'll just see. Then we have Kristen, Chad, Brady, and Marlena. That was just a beautiful moment for Kristen to come into town, and in order to give well wishes to Lani. And I'm glad that she didn't walk away from Brady, but then when Chad saw her, I was like, run, girl, run, because I don't know what Chad is thinking. So yeah, I like the splash of Kristen. And again, these are things that we wish Days would do. Like, you know, don't completely get rid of them, but like bring them in for a couple of episodes and then have them. Like, I'm totally down with that.
Joanne says the baby belongs to Maxine's son.
Tony Moore.
Yes, come through. Maxine's son, bisexual character.
That was from Joanne Howe.
I love it.
That poor baby. Baby, we're going to Mickey's. Get in the back seat.
Let's see. And then that was it with the Kristen, Chad, Brady, Marlena, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Hope, Rafe, and Julie. Julie just caught Hope up with all the shenanigans that happened, and then gave praise to Rafe. And then before that, Rafe and Hope shared some lovely pizza that Tammy apparently has been scouring Los Angeles to find out
so delicious.
where they got that from. Are we here for Hope and Rafe?
I kind of am again. I'm liking them.
I'm good.
Just, I don't know. I'm starting to really like them together. Maybe not together, but definitely as friends. I just can't see Hope with anyone else right now. So it kind of makes sense and I think she's kind of questioned it too a little bit, like when they're looking at each other, and especially over that pizza moment. It's like, this is a little bit more than just pizza.
And I think Hope is a little less Hope right now. Like she's not so type A. So I'm actually enjoying her. Like her interactions with Rafe are like nice.
Me World, who is very adamant, says the rope was supposed to stay cut.
Don't bring it back.
Very well put.
Facts are facts. Sorry, I just read the comment. All right, and that was pretty much it with Hope and Rafe, right?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's get into our favorite part of the show, which are our segments, and we will start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh snap!
Oh snap! Okay, so listen. Here's the thing. There are so many. Thank you. There are so many snap-worthy moments. I want to definitely give a 3 snaps to Lani and Eli for their wedding. But I have to officially give my 3 snaps to a woman who has arrived in Salem and has caught my attention since her fake visit to Bayview. Gwen is giving me so much life. When she was standing there looking at the argument between Claire, Ben, and Sierra, I was like, where is your tea mug, girl? Because this is all the tea you need to collect. So welcome to Salem. Emily O'Brien, Gwen, you get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. Oh, snap. All right, and now it's time for...
Well, naturally, you had to give it to Alani, both of them this week. There were definitely some contenders. Like you said, Tony, I loved Gabby's icicle jumpsuit. I actually loved Hope's purple dress. I thought she looked amazing. I was done with the whole blazer look that she had going on for a long time. And Valerie looked like gorgeous. But given the beautiful moment this week of the wedding, Designer Days goes to South Stowers and Lamone Archie.
Yes. And that has been and now it's time for
Hey, why?
Why?
It's
like, aw.
Okay.
We'll do that one. We'll get back to you, Michael Mattis.
Okay. Our moment for this week goes to Lani and Eli. They are finally married, and what made their wedding was their vows. Eli, when you said, you blame me for breaking my heart, when the truth is your heart was breaking too, but you don't need to sacrifice anymore because you'll never be alone again. Oh, so Eli, Lani, you guys get my moment of the week. Why? It's like,
And now we go back for...
Girl. There we go. All right. This week's Caption That Photo also comes courtesy of Gwen, while she and Stefan / Jake are getting a little comfortable in the bike shop. And this week's caption goes to Crystal Bryan at Crystal_Bryan9 on Twitter with her caption, Gwen saying, "Just here doing my own DNA test."
That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, that was the one. And that was been this week.
Caption that. All right. And of course, a big shout out to Me World 2 for his oh shiz moment of the week. I will be retweeting that right after the show. And now we move on to a very special announcement from our very beautiful, our very lovely, our very talented Miss Tammy Govea.
Hi, everyone. If you don't already know, this will be my last show with Dishin Days. It's been almost 2.5 years, and I just want to thank Tony first and foremost for believing in me. Yes, Mr. Lounging with Tony, bringing me into AfterBuzz. It's been an amazing roller coaster ride that's been nothing but super, super highs. I want to thank my hosts, Michael and Chelsea, and also Mark and James Law Jr. Forever my family, forever thankful. And to you, the fans, forever thankful for supporting me during this time. And here is to future endeavors.
Yay, future
I love you
endeavors.
all.
Tammy Govea, you have been an amazing light to this show. You will always and forever be a great part in addition to Dishin Days and the first female co-host of Dishin Days, because before then we've had gals and then we had a real gal. So thank you for all that you have done. I know that a decision like this never comes easy, but you have our full support, and never say never. The door is always open when you want to come and chit chat about your favorite NBC #1 hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy. We'll miss you.
Yay, Tammy.
Yeah, we'll miss you, Tammy. And I enjoyed working with you, hosting with you, doing Soap News Weekly. And I just felt like you took me under your wing when I first came to AfterBuzz. So I'm really gonna miss you. But again, the door is always open, and I can't wait to see what's in store for you next.
Oh,
All
My
good things.
door is slightly ajar. But you're welcome to come through.
I always call before.
You always call it, yeah.
And Michael
like,
will have wine. I promise you that. And now, before we get to our guests, let's take a sneak peek at what's to come on next week's episode of Days of Our Lives. Ryan, let's check out the promo for next week.
If you love a good wedding,
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
wait till you see what happens next.
Adrian.
Super couples end up together.
What are you doing here?
I love you. All the days of our lives.
Aw, Judy Evans.
She looks so good.
I didn't watch the preview that time before the show, so that was a shot. I'm glad to see her.
Oh,
And I'm glad to hear that she's like doing okay. Like,
yes,
Me too, yeah.
Yes. So
She's
many
had
well
freaking
wishes to Judy Evans. Like, she has she's such a strong woman and such a light, and like, she is amazing. So so shout out to her. Before we get to our guests, let's go back and do a bit of news and gossip.
Oh, okay. AfterBuzz news and gossip. All right, so just one little tidbit to mention that yes, our Spectrum celebrity events are still happening in October, and yes, there are still tickets available. However, because of social distancing, only 50 tickets per event will be issued. The events, just to remind you, start with Salem Proud on Saturday, October 10th at 10 a.m., with Brock Kelly, Chandler Massey, Greg Rickard, and Christopher Sean. Events continue that day with our Dishin Days Quintennial at 5 p.m. with Brock Kelly, Billy Flynn, Kate Manzi, Stacey Hayduke, Eric Martsoff, Jen Lilly, Scott Chillstone, and Paul Telfer. These all take place, or both take place, at the Marriott Burbank Hotel here in sunny Burbank, California. Full information and ticket options are available at SpectrumCelebrityEvents.com.
Yay. I'm hoping and praying that everybody stays home and wears their mask so that we can have our event, because I want to see see everyone. So this is going to be great. All right, everybody. The wait is over and it's time to celebrate. We are the official, unofficial reception party for the beautiful couple. And we have now joining us live, we have
Father of the bride.
All of them. We have Lamone Archie, James Reynolds, Vanessa Williams, and Sal Stowers coming in one by one. Hi, everybody.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, James. How are you?
What's going on?
Hey, Lamone. Good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear. Oh, look at James has now tamed the beard like I have. Oh.
I just brushed it. All I did was brush it. It's all still there.
That's all it takes is a good brush.
How are you all?
We're doing
good.
Beautiful.
Good. Doing good.
Yes.
Yeah, there's Miss Vanessa.
Yes, there she is in full effect.
What's up? Michael, Kelsey.
Hi.
How you guys? How's everybody?
Good.
Good. We are just looking for, technology, y'all, and live shows. Well, while we wait for Sal, James and Lamone, we have had a chance to catch up with you guys during the quarantine. And Vanessa, welcome. We haven't seen you in forever. It's been a while. Ages. So much tea to discuss. So catch us up and let us know how you guys have been doing during quarantine. Are you guys okay? Like, how has it been for you all?
Go ahead, James.
Oh, there's Sal.
Hey, Sal.
Oh, I love your hair. Oh my gosh, so pretty.
What's happening? Yes, he is.
All natural.
Look
Sal,
at
we're just finding out how everyone has been during quarantine. Are you on your phone or on your computer?
Yeah, my computer was acting weird.
If you're on your phone, you have to swipe to see us.
Hi guys.
All right,
good to know.
So catch us up. Like, how have you guys been doing during the quarantine? I believe we were going to start with Vanessa.
Well, that's good. Sounds good.
I've been enjoying not having to be anywhere.
Yes.
At a particular time. I've been doing some spring cleaning. I had just traveled to New York right before we were on lockdown. And
wow.
Wow.
Glad you made it back.
Yeah.
I know. And my son got back to LA like the week after that. So he's been home this whole time, but he's getting ready to go in a week or so. So I'm having pangs, of sadness.
Oh, no.
Releasing.
Is he going to do virtual school, or are they going to actually be on campus?
The oldest one graduated last year.
Oh,
wow. My gosh.
Graduated last year, so he started his life in New York. He started his life.
Wow. Well, we're sending good vibrations and good positive thoughts to him.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He created a salon in the house that they share, and so he's very excited about getting back. And he's done a lot of work since he's been here, drawing and creating videos and animation and making music. So he's been busy, and my youngest also. So I've been spending time with them, going on walks, so that's been lovely.
Yes.
A little bit of publicity and ADR for my upcoming film, Say My Name, the Candyman sequel.
Yes.
So I'm really excited about that.
Yes. Which, Vanessa, I shared with you that I have had a lovely time with a little meme that I made with you from a clip from the trailer.
Yeah, Valerie,
how do you feel about TikTok?
Yeah, how do you feel about being quote unquote memed? Like, do you feel like, is that like a milestone, a career milestone?
Yeah.
Anything to say current and hip and viral. I went viral. It was so amazing.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
It was everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere, yeah.
I love that.
And the memes kept coming and coming. I kept posting and reposting. And then when Tony said he had one, I was like, oh, send it again.
Listen, that's what happens when you're in quarantine. You get on TikTok and you just go wild. So
Exactly.
I have been introduced to TikTok. And James Lamone and Sal, how have you guys been doing? Sal, I love the natural hair. We talked about it.
So pretty.
It looks so good. So
It's
good.
real crazy right now.
Yeah.
But thank you. Honestly, I haven't been doing nothing the same that I've been doing the last time that I talked to you guys. This has been very interesting. So I'm just kind of exploring this and having fun with it. But yeah, I just want to go back to work.
Yeah, good. And James and Lamone, y'all doing all right? Y'all okay?
Doing
Go
good.
ahead, Dave.
Oh, well, yeah, this has been a good time as far as I'm concerned. No, it has been. It's been interesting. It's been kind of busy. It's been a busy time, actually, strangely enough, but it's also been quiet. And, it's interesting how we all can adapt to different situations and use what's around us. And we're doing getting a lot of Amazon's opened up another warehouse at the end of my block.
Oh, wow.
Because everybody's at home just ordering stuff. I know. Yes. I put in a couple of orders too. So, but let's talk about this wedding, which, by the way, like we can't say it enough that just congratulations for this being the first Black on-screen wedding on Days of Our Lives, which for 2 seconds, we all were like, but wait a minute, Abe and Lexi. And so I had to refer to my historian, James Lott Jr., who said, no, that happened off camera. And I was like, now wait a minute, you mean to tell me that in over 50 years of Days of Our Lives, this is gonna be the first Black wedding? Everybody needs to be tuning in for this.
Abe and Lexi got married at a truck stop on the way to Chicago. So this is the first on air.
Wow.
That's what I'm assuming. We were on our way to Chicago.
That actually happened.
Got married by Elvis at a truck stop. That's what I like.
Nice.
Wow.
So for you, Sal and Lamone, hearing that, and I know that you all have really dedicated yourselves to developing these characters and showing additional people of color in Salem. What did it mean for you to know that your wedding was going to be the first Black wedding on Days of Our Lives?
Lamone, are you going first or am I going first?
Nah, go ahead. Ladies first.
Honestly, when I think it was in the back of our mind, even before we found out. But once I actually found out that we were going to be the first African-American couple to be married on the show, I think I had to get past the shock of it. And then after that, I just kind of felt very honored to carry that, to have that on my shoulders, on my back as a Black woman. And to do it alongside Lamone, it means so much. I do wish that it was something that we would have known prior, it changes how you film things. It changes how you carry the story. It just changes it a little bit. But I couldn't be more proud of the work that him and I did together on that episode. And just how it turned out. I'm still happy about it. I'm very honored that we were the two who got to break that mold. Like I said in my post, like we broke the mold of that. So I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, no, I mean, same, just really, really proud that, we got to do this and, be a part of history, Black history on the show. And it was like she said, it's definitely something where I, wish that I would have known sooner. But the end result, I mean, I still think was really good, something that Sal and I can be proud of.
Yeah.
How would that have changed the way you played everything, had you known?
You know what? Now that I think about that, I'm kind of like, maybe it wouldn't have because I went into that episode telling, even telling Lamone, I'm like, we're getting married, we gotta be there, we gotta be connected, we gotta be in love, like we have to have those feelings, like you just do, like playing a couple, getting married, you have to exude all of that love gushy stuff, what you see at a wedding. But I think if I would have known, I would have, when people think of Black love or Black marriages or Black relationships in general, they don't have the best reputations, or if you think of like, Black men, for example, sometimes don't have the best rep when it comes to marriages and relationships. So I think for us, I would have liked to just really exude that as much as we can, or as much as we could, and really just show that like love exists no matter who you are. Like love is love, and it's good, and there's bad, and all of that. But I just would love, I don't know if that's coming out right, just to show that all love is, Black love is beautiful. All love is beautiful.
I think we're understanding.
Yeah, I think, and as far as like knowing before, it's such a, I even want to say it's a blessing that Sal and I decided to, come to the producers and ask them about jumping the broom. But let's just say we knew, that just happened, that thought just happened to just pop in our head. But knowing that ahead of time, this is going to be the first Black, African-American show, I think it would have been even more like, I think one of the things as far as like it just popping into our heads, we would have made it a point to, hey, let's see everything we can do to make this wedding more about, any type of heritage we could bring into it.
So jumping the broom was your suggestion?
Yeah, it was our suggestion.
Oh, I like that. And I thought it was so cool. I was going to ask Sal, you looked gorgeous at the wedding. Of course. Did you have a say of how you wanted Lani to look? Because she looks so different from the first wedding. I love this one, was like a goddess type of feel. So with the costume design, did you guys get to talk and how you wanted Lani to be portrayed for this wedding?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Everything that you saw with Lamone and I, collaborated that. And at first, I don't even think Lamone wanted to see the outfits, but I was like, no, like, you have to see the outfit. Like, you have to see it. I feel like he was doing that thing of like, you can't see the bride. I'm like, oh my Lord, but I really do respect his opinion. And I just wanted us to have, I wanted us to come out of it. And, I had the braids at the time, and I really wanted to play the whole African kind of with the jewels in my hair and just that whole goddess thing. So that was what I was going for. And then Lamone kind of tied it in with the gold chain and like the matching pearls with it and the white tux. Like I loved the way that we were dressed in this wedding versus the first one.
Yeah.
This is my favorite one. And Lamone had his ankles out, and I'm always for a man.
I was like, come on, loafers and ankles. I see it. I see it.
Girl.
My mother is always clowning me about my feet because they hecka long and big. So she sent me a picture of a screenshot of my feet and told me I didn't jump across the broom. I skied over it.
That is hilarious. And then I want to hear from James and Vanessa, like being, people in this industry for as long as you have been, and James obviously holding it down as Abe for as long as you have. What did it feel like seeing, this couple being married and being the first Black couple, and James, especially for you, because you were in this amazing relationship with Lexi Renee Jones, and didn't have that moment. So what were the feelings that were going on that day as the wedding was happening for each of you?
Well, it wasn't a truck stop, so that was that was good.
Yeah. Julie's place,
like
not a truck stop.
That was a good start. No, I was proud. I'm always proud of these two. Anyway, I kind of get an ersatz father's pride, if I can, a TV dad's pride. And so it's, so I definitely was. I mean, I was proud of their choices. I was proud of how they performed those scenes. You know, always how professionally they handle themselves. It's actually it's inspiring. I enjoyed that, and I love their choices, and I love how they played into it. And this relationship looked real. Everything about it brought people in because you bought into their love for each other, and that was thrilling. You know, I'm a history guy. I love history. I love all aspects of it, and I'm aware of the history of television in daytime and in Black history, and the fact that they were part of this moment, I think is really, really appropriate. And I was excited. I was excited for that.
Yeah, Vanessa, how did you feel?
Well, I think it was really fantastic, and I think it's just that the ancestors were involved in creating the moment at just the right time. So even what's in our DNA as descendants of Africans and descendants of in this country, that the broom would be there, and have to know in advance, we could have highlighted that more in the lead up. So that's where it would have been really, really effective to have that information just to bring even more eyes and more significance to it. So that would have been wonderful. Playing Valerie, who was the first to marry a white person. So, you know, it had all that significance, and that was sort of drilled into the story. So that would have been wonderful to know in advance. But as I said, I think the ancestors were all over this. And so we got to see this wonderful, joyous, loving human thing happen between these two beautiful African-American actors, create history, which all Black history is American history. So that it becomes all a part of this narrative that we have a chance to really, really show, storytell, and add to the narrative and highlight it in a way that it hasn't in the past. So it's all that much more significance.
You know, and it's also, we didn't know when this was being shot. We didn't know what the moment would be when it's shown. We had no idea. We were still shooting a scene in a soap opera. And so the fact that this show aired in the moment that it did, and we're all certainly aware now that life does not wait for our plans.
Exactly.
So, the fact that that show aired when it did, I think is extremely significant. And you know, it allows our audience to partake in it. I mean, it's a multicultural audience. And so the more that audience, particularly now where there's an awareness of Black folk and our contributions to this country and going forward, was wonderful. It was just one of those moments of kismet that fit. It just fit.
James, did you ever wish that you and Lexi had some sort of ceremony or something on camera, like throughout the time that you guys were on the show?
Oh, no question. No question. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because it was an example of you know, of all the so-called super couples of that era, the super couple era. Abe and Lexi were the only two that didn't have that moment. And I think that too says a lot. Negatively, but it says a lot.
Because I mean, Abe and Lexi were, like, for me, a very pinnacle, you know, couple. And you know, and I think it really showed, and this was unfortunate when they killed off Lexi. Like, that was such a powerful moment because we saw the love that this couple had, and we had been on this journey with them, and it was like a part of us left as well. And so to think back that, like, you didn't have this moment where you showed, you know, not only the world, but the folks of Salem, like, what this love was between these two people. You know, it for me, it was a thought of, like, wow, they never had that moment. And I wonder if you ever wanted to show that.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it would have been, especially back in like the early 90s, it would have been extremely important to have that moment. As I said, it's the only one of the labeled super couples that didn't have that moment and yet were told that they were one of the super couples.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm
James,
sorry, Tammy, I interrupted you.
I had a question. So James, going back to what you were saying about while the filming of these scenes happened several months ago, the whole synchronicity of it landing today is really breathtaking.
Yes.
It's magical and breathtaking and beautiful. Thank you, universe, for getting it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so to Lamone and Sal, I'm hoping that the writers seize this opportunity. It's really an opportunity for them. It's an opportunity for the show. To Sal, as you were saying, to reflect the relationship of these two people, something beautiful, especially with a baby coming. Where would you like to see stories going from this point?
I mean, obviously at the end of the day, we're still on a soap. So there's gonna be drama and there's gonna be all the craziness, and everyone always says you can't have a happy couple in a soap. Once the couple is happy, something, that's not good. So, I mean, I guess you kind of have to have both, but it would be nice to just for a bit to show what real love looks like, and obviously there's drama with that too, but just show that I'm going to say Black love just because I know that sometimes it is not represented the way that America see how they want to see love. So I would like for it to be represented more differently on the show.
Yeah. And I want to give a shout out to Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis Jr., who are also a part of it as well. Also history as well with the show. Let's talk about this wedding though, because before you guys came on, we talked about the wedding, and I think for a lot of us, and especially for me, the one thing that, and understanding that it's a soap opera, but the one thing that I really, really wanted to happen was just for Eli and Lani to have a moment where we can just see their wedding and see them getting married and see them being together without all the shenanigans that happened. So like, we had Marilyn McCoo, who played your mom. She had the low blood sugar, and then she fainted, and then we had Gabby come in, and then we had Vivian come in. Like y'all, like no shade when when Gabby walked in, I literally sat on my couch and I was like, this is why we can't have nice things. Like, why can't we just have a moment where these folks can just get married? I said during the show earlier, I was like, listen, this would have been fine during the reception, during the electric slide. Like all of a sudden we got, Gabby coming in, then we got Vivian coming in. I want to get y'all's take on how do you feel about the wedding, like overall, like what were your thoughts?
I want to know, Lamone and Sal, when you guys were reading the script and you were reading through like the sequence and seeing like, oh, okay, mom faints. Oh, now Gabby now Vivian. And were you like, is this wedding even gonna happen? Or like, what are they trying to do to us here? So yeah, I'm interested to get your take about how you, to snowball off of Tony, like how you guys felt about the wedding and all of the interruptions and everything leading up to the beautiful moment where you guys were finally able to, where Elani was allowed to like express their love and finally be together.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I felt like it was a lot going on. I don't remember how many days we shot all this over, but it definitely wasn't. I don't think it was even done in 2. There was a lot going on, and I could be wrong, but I think there were some last minute changes to the script. Like big changes.
Big changes.
So I don't think it was the original plan to have everything that did happen at the wedding actually happen. But I could be wrong. I just know we got some last minute changes that were like way different than the initial ones we got.
Okay.
I wonder what those were.
Yeah, curious.
Well, I think there was some scheduling stuff for Marilyn and Billy.
Also, yeah.
And also, I was curious about what the audience would think about all those shenanigans. Like, yeah, we can't have nothing. Can't
that's how I felt. I was like, we
just get one day, just
right.
It wasn't okay.
But to be fair, in terms of the style of the show, shenanigans, bananas go on in every kind of wedding, funeral.
Yes.
Sort of like, it's sort of like a Days of Our Lives kind of thing that stuff goes down, like nothing goes according to plan. I didn't seem to take it as anything particular to this story, but had we known the cultural, historical significance of it, we maybe would have pulled back and had 2 interruptions instead of 3.
Right. I've been to a lot of Salem weddings. I've never known one go on.
He's been to a lot of ones, unfortunately.
But
I don't think there are any other motives. I think it's just that's the way it is in Salem.
Right, but I just don't understand, like, why can't it just for a second, like just a little bit of like just real, like let it be real for a second, just for a second, and then we can get crazy. Then we can get crazy.
Well, like Tony's suggestion, they could have, there have been weddings, I'm sure, that everything has been fine during the ceremony, and then the shiz goes down at the reception or at the end.
That's happened. That's happened.
Yeah.
It could have happened, or at the very end of the ceremony, something will happen. But it is the way it is. I mean, it's just. I mean, I've sat there in weddings actually for a week. And you have
longest wedding.
Kill, and they wheel the body out and then bring in a couple more extras, and then somebody else passes out and they wheel that person out, and then somebody's kidnapped from the wedding, and then outside else is going on, somebody's pushed into an open grave.
James,
so, sometimes it is what it is sometimes.
To sidebar for a minute, James, since you have been on Days for a while, and you've been in Salem for a while, and you've been to a lot of Salem weddings, is there one that sticks out that was particularly like you were just like either over the top, or one that either good or bad that sticks out in your mind that like, ooh, that was a doozy?
Well, I was at Bo and Hope's wedding in England when they were getting married in England, which was Hollywood, but it was a location. It was outside in Hollywood. And an assassin comes in to kill Bo and Hope, and they fire and they miss. And the first thing Abe does is step down. He's Bo's best man, so he steps down off the stage, runs to the queen, who happens to be there and sitting in the front row, by the way. So Liz is right there, and Abe says, "All right, everyone, I'm in charge." In the middle of London with the Queen sitting in the front row. So that one sticks out. That's the kind of wedding we have.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And I mean, we were totally in agreement, like, and I think I mentioned this to Lamone like a couple of weeks ago. I was like, I really hope this wedding goes off with like no shenanigans. He didn't say anything, but then I started praying. I was just like, Lord, please let this wedding, just because I feel like the only other wedding that kind of went fine was the wedding of Will and Sonny. And like, and being a gay man, like I was very happy with how Days presented that storyline, especially to a show that really is for like middle America audience. And now we have this beautiful gay love storyline and this beautiful wedding. The only moment that we had was like praying that Carolyn Brady like got through her speech, because she had dementia and we didn't know if it was going to sidetrack or anything like that. So I was hoping the same for this wedding of Eli and Lani. I was like, all right, just let it go fine, and then bring in the Salem. But like Gabby walked in, and she looked good walking in. Like, if I could fit it into the jumpsuit, I would.
Come on.
I mean, she looked good.
Exactly.
Yeah, but she literally walked in to be like, guess what, bitches? No charges here. Like, you know, and it's like wait, right? You can just wait just a second. You know, let them.
I wore black. Lonnie wore black to her wedding. Does she have to wear white, sparkly, whatever jumpsuit?
Well, to be wait. Isn't that when you came back as the nun?
Yeah.
But you did a costume. You did a costume change though, so you gave us like
I didn't have on white. I had on black.
True. This is true.
With different motivation.
Everybody knows you do not wear white. We all know.
Right.
Abby,
don't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know.
We do have. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say we do have a comment in the chat room from Kalia Irons who says that wedding night.
Yes, the fireworks.
It must have been something. Yeah.
Which
and Lamone, your tweet.
Oh my gosh.
Yo, she called me immediately. She was like, Lamone.
Wait, I missed it. What was the tweet? What was the tweet?
No, don't go look at the tweet.
Yeah, I missed it too. I missed it too.
Guys, I'm gonna blush.
I don't want to say it. I'm not gonna repeat it then.
No, go ahead. We want to hear it. Go ahead.
It was this hot love-making scene.
Lamone just being nasty. That's all it is. That's all.
And it all played in the caption. He says, "Does anybody remember when Lani was a nun?"
That's a good tweet. That was fine.
Stark contrast.
Yeah, but it's a specific moment. It's just a little moment, a little too much there.
But listen, that wedding night, like Sal, when you came around the corner in your surprise, I was like, okay, Sal, all right, we see you for this wedding night. I was like, now this is like it all. Like after all the shenanigans and everything that with the wedding, and finally you guys got married, like it was such a beautiful wedding night just to have a moment to see these two characters really connect. And like I can't commend y'all enough and about like what you guys have done with these characters and how you continue to build in Salem, because again, for the longest time, you know, James, you were holding it down as Abe, and there weren't a lot of people of color that were represented. And then we got the Hernandez, then we got Lani, and then we got Eli, and then Valerie. And then finally I was like, yes, y'all Black people need to, and Hispanic people need to exist in Salem. And I'm sure James is probably like, finally, like I don't have to hold this down by myself no more.
You're exactly right.
Like, thank you.
You were saying you didn't want anything to go wrong with the wedding. I'm just saying, I just want the marriage to last.
Yes.
The marriage to last.
Yes.
Also, too, like, another reason why like they kept throwing everything into the sink to the wedding is because, you know, they had stretched out whether they were going to get these two characters together for the longest time, and now they finally were. They had to tease it out as much as they could.
And they did.
Right.
Well, it has to last, but it has to last with issues.
Oh,
I've been a long time.
Well,
we want them to be on the show for a long time.
You know, James, it's funny you mentioned that. It's funny you mentioned that, James, because Abe and Lexi, I started watching in '94, and from the time I started watching Abe and Lexi, you know, they were front burner, they were back burner, whatever. But even after like Lexi stole Hope's baby, and even like they were the long lasting couple. Like I don't think Abe and Lexi, even though they had like their issues and they may have separated for a little bit, they stayed married right up to the point where Lexi passed away. Yes. So I'm hoping that maybe Eli and Lani, like you said, with issues can be long lasting. Like they can be the couple that has issues but doesn't get divorced or doesn't break up.
Y'all don't understand. I'm praying hard about this baby. Like I feel like I'm like
they can't
holding
do that
over.
They can't do that to Lani again, or
Eli.
They can't.
No, we have to have the baby.
And then maybe Valerie will have to come back because she can't be far away from her grandbaby.
Yes.
I would ship it 100%.
Listen, we're all about that. Go ahead, Tammy.
So Vanessa, want to make it very clear from Dishin days that we miss the character of Valerie like you cannot believe.
Yeah.
Seriously, because we didn't know you played a matriarch of sorts that we didn't even know we needed, let alone knew we would miss when you left.
I'm very happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Would you return?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't believe they got married the first time without his mama being there. I was like, what did they say? Because the kind of busybody mama that Valerie had been, like, they couldn't breathe without her input. For her not to be there when they, I said, was she sick? Because
I think she had some surgery or something.
Yeah.
But I just want to interrupt just for 1 second.
Her baby.
Well, I just want to say for 1 second, I wanted to congratulate Vanessa on soul food. By the way, I was reading a lot on about soul food, and I wanted to let you know I've been following.
Wait, what's happening with soul food? Is it coming back?
Well, we hope. We had 20 years. On June 28th was the 20th anniversary of our first.
Oh my God!
Wow!
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like I used to watch Soul Food, and I love the show, but I also realized, Vanessa, like you're one of those amazing people that you never know when you're gonna pop up, because you actually just popped up for me. You popped up for me recently. I've been rewatching Living Single, and I forgot that you played the princess that went out with Kyle, and like with all, and I was sitting there, I was like, look at Vanessa. I said, now, if this woman ain't been working in Hollywood for like she's keeping a job, like she is working. But we really do. We really do miss the character of Valerie, and we wish that you were back on the show, permanently.
There's so much they could do with someone of your range and an actress of your talent. Yeah. Like there's so much that can be done. And so it like just to snowball off of what Tammy said, it's frustrating when we see as viewers that potential and you kind of get excited, you're like, oh, this girl knows what she's doing and she's really killing this material. And then eventually it's, oh, I'm moving to Washington, or and it's just like such a letdown. So we hope to.
I would have loved to do a lot more. So played multiple personalities. Been a hooker on the side,
Hooker on the side.
Oh my God, Valerie the hooker! What?
Valerie's got it.
And Abe has to arrest her, and
there you go. Yeah. I like that.
I mean, I liked the dynamic between you, James, and Vanessa, and what they were building. And I have to say, when the wedding happened, and I was glad to see Valerie back, but I had the same face that Eli had when Valerie was like, "Oh, now I'm dating your mentor." Like it cut to Lamone, and he had a face, and I realized I had that same face. Like we both were like, like what is okay? I'm like, so okay, so we go. Okay.
I don't know what the inner thinking was, but maybe it was like, don't get it twisted that Valerie and Abe are available or something.
Right.
Putting another obstacle in the way of their togetherness when I come back.
Yeah. Well, look, here on Dishin Days, we have been very known to be very vocal about who we would like to see back. So I want to officially start the hashtag Bring Valerie Back campaign. So now listen, I can't promise that it always works because there's been a hashtag Maxine's son forever, and we've seen that. So I just want to put it out in the universe and just hope the right folks grab it.
I'll approve that message. So.
That's right. Or Babe. What is it? Babe? Is that what they call it? Babe? Or
is that the
I think that's what it is. Yeah,
I like that. I like babe.
Yeah, something like that.
So before we have to wrap things up, because I'm getting a message from our producer that we're gonna have to go soon. Any final thoughts as to this week with the wedding and what we saw? Anything that you know hope that the fans can take away from this moment that we saw this week? Anyone can start first.
Well, let the bride and groom. Let the bride and groom answer that.
Wait, what was the question?
That's why I started
what would you like for the fans to take away from this the Eli and Lani wedding, since it was a historic moment in Day's history?
What would I like them to take away from it? I know everyone is never going to be pleased with everything. Some will like it, some won't. But I just hope that, they will walk away with more of admiration and love for Elani. That they leave with more love for the couple than they walked into. So that would be it.
Okay. Sal?
I mean, definitely what Lamone said. I think, just that. I think what he said. I think just what he said. Yeah, that, because I don't know what else to say.
Okay.
I got nervous.
Vanessa, someone who's pops in and out of Salem, which we hope again it's more of a permanent stay. Watching or taping and then watching what happened, and basically in the climate that we're in, what do you hope that the audience will take away from the union of this couple?
Well, I think that it's more than obvious that the audience will take away their love for each other, that the characters are meant to be, that it's a good thing for them to be together. I think I want the fans to write in exactly that we love them and we want them, so that to activate the writers and the powers that be, to say this is a story we want to see more of, and that in terms of what they're doing with their work as artists, they're just really enlivening it with so much authentic humanity and love, and it's beautiful to watch. And more love scenes and bring on the baby. So
yes.
Come back, all of that. I think the magic between them really is self-evident, and so that there's nothing to prove, just everything to cheer and say we want more of this.
Yes,
that's the takeaway.
Well,
and James, what about you? Because I know there has to be a lot of thoughts, a lot of emotions, a lot of things, especially with your history with the show. What do you hope for moving forward for this beautiful couple?
Well, they are a beautiful couple, that's for sure. And no, I actually think it's a commitment from the show. I'm going to look at it in a very positive light here, because you have these two dynamic people, these young actors that are just wonderful and committed and talented and work so hard. And we will soon have a little baby.
Yes.
And so our numbers grow by one very soon. And I think that's important. I think the audience has embraced both Eli and Lani. And I think as we go forth, the show has made a statement. They make a statement every time they're on the air. I know Vanessa and I do all the things that we can to continue to do that. Our presence speaks for that. And yes, I am optimistic. I'm not always the silver lining guy, but I try to find it.
Yes. Well, we definitely.
Can I say something really quick?
Of course, Al.
I do just want to address the fans, because this past week I do feel like, and look, I know that there are a lot of people who may not care for the Lonnie story or Lamone and I, whatever, but I do, for all of the Elani fans out there, I do just want to say thank you for showing us so much love, because I do feel like it was just like outpour of so much love this past week, and I'm just very appreciative, and I know Lamone is, so thank you for supporting us. And we don't know where the story is going to go in the long run, but just thank you for being on the journey with us and supporting us.
Yes, we are definitely remaining on this journey, and we're remaining hopeful that we'll continue to see this love blossom. We know that there are going to be a couple of stumps, a couple of hurdles and things like that, but once you guys jump over it, we're gonna be there with open arms to say, "Come on, y'all, let's get it together. Let's keep it going, and let's."
I mean, if they can get past him getting married or almost getting married to Gabby, she's going to a convent. I mean, come on.
I mean, listen, it is small potatoes now, but
we got this.
Yeah,
yes,
you yet to be buried alive. That's coming up pretty soon. It's happening.
There it is. Or heaven forbid your baby gets switched and stolen.
You know, that thought went through my head a minute ago. I thought, mom and dad with the baby.
No, we can't have any more baby drama. We cannot have any more baby
That's been
drama.
done.
No more baby drama.
No more baby drama. Well, I thank you all so much for joining us today. We truly appreciate it. We thank y'all for always joining us, and we wish you guys nothing but the best. And stay safe during all this. Wear your mask, wash your hands, use hand sanitizer, and hopefully we'll be back in the studio.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having us. We love you. Love you guys so much.
Absolutely. Thank you all.
Hi, everybody. Love you.
Good to see the three of you.
Yes. Thank you guys.
Take care, everybody.
Have a great day.
Bye. You too.
Bye, y'all.
See us.
Bye, James.
Maybe.
Oh my gosh, you guys, that was such an amazing time.
Awesome. Oh my God.
Such amazing people and so talented. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Before we head out, Michael Mattis, let the kind folks know where they can follow you.
Oh, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ML Mattis. And Tammy, I'm gonna miss you.
I love you.
I know we'll be in touch. Whatever. We live like 10 minutes away, but still. I'll miss seeing you on my screen every week.
Yeah, me too.
And Chelsea?
You can find me on Instagram at Chelsea Overrocker and on Twitter at Chels Overrocker.
And for one more time, Tammy Govea, where can the fine folks find you?
Oh, I don't know how many bottles I'm in at this point. I think you can find me on Twitter at Tammy Govea and on Instagram, tammy.govea. Love to you all.
And of course, you guys can find all of us at Dishin Days on Facebook and Instagram and _Dishin Days on the Twitter. And you can find little old me on all social media platforms at Lounger with Tony. And Tammy Govea, thank you once again for all of your hard work and being an amazing co-host. And I'm pretty sure this isn't the last that we've seen of you. So congratulations and good luck on everything. Thank you all for watching. I'm gonna get in trouble because we have went way over time. So we will see you
like 2 minutes, whatever.
We will see you next Sunday for another full dish of your favorite recap show, AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days. Bye, everybody.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or